Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Live at 4. It's Friday. Charlotte will stay in for Susan Simon. I can hear Susan yelling from South Carolina. She's back on Monday. She's been visiting her folks, so thanks for helping out this week.
Oh, love doing this.
It zips right along, doesn't it?
It does.
All right.
Here we are. It's finally Friday.
One more. Here's what's making news on this Friday. The judge had enough and jails President Trump's former campaign chair, Paul Manafort.
Madison's mayor explains why he is considering a vehicle tax to make up for a shortfall in the city budget.
And investigators are trying to find out why a Daytona Beach roller coaster derailed, sending some passengers flying to the ground. But first, let's take a look outside today. We're waiting for the heat to start. It's creeping in.
Yeah, slowly people are walking outside like, yep, it's coming.
Yeah, we had the storms, early this morning, so the clouds stayed around, so it didn't get quite as hot as quickly, but it's going to be a sizzling Father's Day. That's for sure. Chris Reese is with us in the backyard patio. Getting warm out there, buddy?
It is warm. I'll tell you what, it's Friday. We are celebrating with a good old-fashioned Mother Nature heat wave moving into town. In fact, we do have alert days for the weekend. That is ahead of the heat that's going to be moving in. It could be near record-breaking. I mean, we're talking heat indices in some cases greater than 100 degrees. In fact, right now we're already seeing that. Iowa City, it feels like 102 right now. It only feels like 86 here in Madison, but you see that heat starting to snake its way in from the south and west. There are some thunderstorms on Doppler track right now. A lot of that is across the North Woods and the UP of Michigan. That'll be diving south and east today. We'll watch that for the slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm later on today. But as far as right now here in Madison, there are no showers or thunderstorms. It is sunshine that has taken over. The temperatures are in the low 80s right now, but let's go just to the west. Lone Rock at 88, Boscobel at 89 right now. Same for Prairie du Chien. La Crosse already reaching 91 degrees, and there's more heat where that came from, especially as we go through your weekend. Then you factor in the humidity, the dew points, and the upper 60s right now, low 70s to the west. Yeah, we're going to be reaching that point where it's ultimately just uncomfortable to be outside. On the bright side, it looks nice right now. Lots of beautiful conditions. We'll keep that sunshine around going through the rest of the afternoon and evening, along with some partly cloudy to even some clearing skies in some places overnight tonight. Let's go ahead and show you traffic. Lots of folks getting ready to head on home. This is how it looks at Todd Drive right now. Already you see the backups starting to make themselves known. In fact, the Beltline right now really starting to show a lot of those slowdowns, especially if you're heading westbound away from downtown. Slowdowns on Verona Road right now, especially with that construction that continues to be ongoing. And we'll continue to watch this traffic pretty much keep things backed up for the next couple hours or so going through the rush hour. In fact, if you were eastbound from Verona Road to John Nolan, do know that you're going to expect some delays. Traffic only moving at about 22 miles per hour as of now. Back to you guys.
All right, we have been warned, that's for sure.
You have been warned. Anyone who has outdoor plans, make sure you take some water, or the plans involve water in some way, shape, or form.
All right, come on inside. We'll see you in a few minutes.
All right.
First at 4, a federal judge in Washington has ordered President Trump's former campaign manager Paul Manafort into custody following allegations of witness tampering in his upcoming trial.
That brought a swift reaction from the president. John Schumo has the latest from New York.
President Trump's former campaign manager, Paul Manafort, is headed to jail while he awaits trial on multiple felony charges.
Mr. Manafort, are you going to visit Paul in prison? Are you going to visit Paul in prison?
Manafort had been under house arrest, indicted in special counsel Robert Mueller's ongoing Russia probe. Just last week, Mueller filed additional charges against him for witness tampering, claiming Manafort used encrypted messaging apps and an intermediary to contact 2 former business associates, asking them to falsely testify.
He worked for me, what, for 49 days or something?
On Friday, a federal judge ruled Manafort abused the trust of the court and ordered him into custody.
I feel badly for some people because they've gone back 12 years to find things about somebody, and I don't think it's right.
Manafort has pleaded not guilty to all the charges against him. Sources tell CBS News he's banking on a presidential pardon if he's convicted.
I do want to see people treated fairly. That's what it's all about.
Over the last year, Special Counsel Mueller has filed more than 100 charges against 19 people, including 4 former Trump campaign members. President Trump maintains the investigation is a witch hunt. John Shumo, CBS News.
And Manafort has 2 upcoming trials, one scheduled to begin in July, the other set to take place in Washington in September. Well, McFarland police are searching for a man they say tried to entice children.
We are learning what he may look like and what charges he could face if found. News 3's Madeline O'Neill joins us with those details. Madeline?
Police are asking for your help finding the man who they say approached a group of young girls in McFarland asking if they wanted a ride. According to police, it happened near a park in the Red Oak and Leon Lane area. And here's a look at a composite sketch from police. He's described as white, between the ages of 30 and 45, and with black hair that is partially shaved. He's also shown here with a beard and a lip ring. Police say he was driving a white Dodge Caravan.
It's very serious. Obviously, it's very concerning to us anytime we see this kind of behavior. And again, as I said, this isn't one where, the suspect attempted physically to get somebody into their car, but it is unusual behavior.
Police say since the man didn't attempt to force the children into the car, it may not rise to the level of criminal charges. But that's a decision that will be left to the district attorney if the suspect is found. Police are asking anyone with information to call 911 or the McFarland Police Department at 608-838-3151.
Madeline, thank you.
The police chief of DeForest is on administrative leave while he's under investigation. Chief Dan Forsyth has been on leave for more than 3 weeks. Village officials tell News 3 that they've hired a firm to investigate after a video surfaced of what appears to be Forsyth sitting in a car making racially charged remarks about a group of black men. Village Administrator Steve Falgren says the video is 10 years old or more before Forsyth was chief. The video was first posted on YouTube in 2015. Madison Mayor Paul Soglin is floating the idea of a vehicle registration fee that he's not even sure he wants.
Eric Franke joins us in the News Center to explain why it's a backup plan of sorts for the mayor. Eric?
This would be a $17 per vehicle registration fee, and that comes on the heels of Dane County enacting a $28 registration fee earlier. Now, by rule, any money from a wheel tax like this would go toward transportation-related costs, but it would free up general city fund dollars. The mayor acknowledges it is a regressive tax, which he's always been against, but he has to start the conversation about it now in case they need that money later to cover an anticipated budget shortfall next year just to pay for basic city services.
So I'm not sure I support it. I'm not sure that we will need it, but just in case the obligations driven by previous budgets, particularly debt service, drive up our costs so high, this may be necessary.
Now, when you add this, the state and county fees, this would bring total vehicle fees to $120 per car. The mayor, again, he's not sold entirely, but he says it has to be an option here if the city needs it. And under state law, it needs to clear the Common Council in early September so that it can take effect by the first of the year in 2019. And there are council members currently both for and against this tax. Mark and Charlotte?
All right, Eric Franke, live at the News Center. Thank you.
You're welcome.
A Florida state agency has started an investigation to find out why a roller coaster derailed at a Daytona Beach amusement park. Dramatic cell phone video shows the frantic moments after it derailed. Rescue workers can be seen rushing to the aid of riders, some helplessly dangling from the coaster's cars. Officials say 2 riders fell from the front car, dropping more than 30 feet to the ground.
Just hear a big loud boom and we just take off running.
Everybody started screaming and we ran over there and saw the cart dangling. It was chaotic, as you can imagine. The riders were very frightened and the firefighters were doing a great job of trying to make sure that everyone stayed calm.
The Sandblaster ride has been a fixture on the Daytona Beach boardwalk since 2013, but a report by the Daytona Beach News Journal revealed the ride was sidelined last year after a state inspector discovered more than a dozen safety violations. The ride had passed an inspection the morning of the accident. There is more to come at 4. The immigration battle continues in Washington.
And caught in the political crossfire, children separated from their parents. We'll have the latest on these innocent victims when we come back. Welcome back. President Trump is pushing back against criticism of his administration's decision to prosecute anyone caught trying to cross the border illegally.
That decision has forced border officials to separate children from parents, and now the president is shifting blame for that decision.
I hate the children being taken away. The Democrats have to change their law. That's their law.
The president's comments may have stalled an immigration bill that would have addressed the issue. House Republicans have pushed back a vote on a compromise plan, and President Trump laid out what he's looking for in a tweet Friday, saying any immigration bill must have full funding for the wall and catch and release, visa lottery and chain, and go to merit-based immigration.
We have a job to do, and we shouldn't cede our ability to pass laws and legislate to the executive.
The Trump administration enacted a new zero-tolerance policy, prosecuting all adults who cross the southwest border illegally, forcing the separation of children from parents. Anger over the policy has sparked protests in cities around the country.
Well, China has quickly released some details on the retaliatory tariffs it plans to impose on U.S. goods. Chinese officials say they will slap duties on 545 U.S. products on July 6th. That comes after the Trump administration said it is slapping a 25% tariff on Chinese products. It affects $50 billion worth of Chinese imports. China says it'll tax farm products, autos, and seafood. And Wall Street responded accordingly to those tariffs, but did rebound some by the end of trading. The Dow Industrials fell 84 points, ending the week at 25,090. The NASDAQ Composite Index lost 14, and the S&P 500 gave up 3. Well, the Between the Waves Festival is now underway in Madison.
The 4-day event brings thousands of people into the city to talk about how to make it in music. And the goal behind this event is to keep local musicians local instead of losing them to bigger cities. Roy Elkins, the founder of Between the Waves, and Chris Taylor, he's an audio engineer, joins us from the UW campus. Welcome, gentlemen.
Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
All right, so tell us about Between the Waves.
Well, there's two parts to Between the Waves. One is a conference. We have about 35 to 40 speakers that have come in town to teach us about the music industry. And we have several hundred musicians here learning from them. And then at night, on 6 different stages at 3 different places, we have 57 bands playing all kinds of music in the next few days.
How big is the problem of musicians leaving the city?
Well, I don't think many leave the city as much as we just want to give them an opportunity to play here. Certainly, some of them leave to go to Nashville, to LA, to New York, to like this guy here.
Yeah, but we come back. We come back,
and
though.
he came back. He found out, there's great opportunity here as well.
Because I'm a rock star, so I came back because I'm a rock star, baby. Yeah, woo!
So, Chris, so you left. Where did you go to, and then why did you come back?
I went to Los Angeles to find purpose in life. And my purpose in life was to come back and do Between the Waves with Roy. And that's why I'm back. So I answered that in 2 things, because I'm a rock star, baby. Yeah, woo! Come down to Between the Waves and you can meet rock stars and learn how to be one, too.
There just wasn't enough opportunity in LA for Chris.
Yeah. LA wasn't big enough for Chris, apparently.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful thing. We're having a beautiful time. It's education. What Madison needs and what the people, the population for the state of Wisconsin, and not just Madison, for the state of Wisconsin, because people came from all over the state. What they need is education and empowerment to actually be able to grow as artists. From the time it takes to mix a record, to the thought process it takes to write a song, to how you have to book your band for a tour. All of that.
So the state of Wisconsin.
Thank you.
So can you talk about,
They're speechless.
This is talk about music. Talk about why music is so important.
Well, I mean, I think we know that kids who study music, they do better in school, they get along with each other, they know how to finish projects, they are diligent, they learn eye-hand coordination. I mean, there's study after study after study that kids who are in the arts, they perform better in just about every aspect of education.
But music also controls mood. Music also controls emotion. You can incite a riot with music, and you can bring tranquility along with music. So often we use music in an angry capacity. We actually have to take music and think forward and use music to help heal. That was like a Michael Jackson record, heal the world, make it a better place. But if you don't actually engage those thought processes, you never learn. And that's what we're teaching at Between the Waves. Woo, because we're rock stars, baby. Yeah!
All right, Chris Rockstar. Roy, thank you for being with us. It sounds like a spectacular program.
Us, guys.
Keep music.
Hey, you got to come down and have some fun. You just hang out with this guy for 5 minutes. You have a day.
All right, if you are a student, you can attend both the festival. I want to meet him. You can attend both the festival and the conference for free. If you're not a student, it'll cost you $20 to attend the festival and $89 to attend the conference.
You hang out with him and you can say, I'm a rock star too.
Or at least I know a rock star.
1 degree separation. Still to come, we all know the dangers of drinking and driving.
But how about the dangers of drowsy driving?
I'm Meg Oliver in a drowsy driving simulation suit with more than 60% of Americans admitting to driving while tired. I'll show you just how dangerous it is.
Well, take a look at this. A video released by police in St. Paul, Minnesota shows a teen driver having a very bad day. It starts with a 19-year-old driver blowing through a four-way stop. Officers then pull the vehicle over, and that's when the infractions start to pile up. A broken taillight, speeding, distracted driving. She was eating a sub sandwich, no driver's license, no proof of insurance. And it gets worse from there. The woman allegedly had an outstanding warrant for her arrest. She had drugs and open alcohol containers in the car, and on and on. Officers eventually took her into custody. The department shared the video on Facebook, racking up over 5 million views. And according to the video, the driver had a total of 11 infractions in one stop. That's not a good day.
No, that's not a good day at all. As they just go back to bed and start all over.
Start over.
And do not get in the car.
I don't think she'll be driving again soon.
Oh, wow.
It is Friday, June 15th.
That's right. Today, National Electricity Day. In 1752, during a thunderstorm in Philadelphia, Benjamin Franklin flew a kite to prove that lightning is indeed electricity.
We had a lot of electricity in the air this morning.
That's right.
Yeah.
Talk about that electrifying.
Noisy. And it is National Lobster Day. The producer said no to props.
We even have butter in the refrigerator.
No lobster props.
And it's time to slip into something more comfortable, shall we? Because it is National Flip-Flop Day. It was started in 2007 by Tropical Smoothie Cafe in celebration of their 10th anniversary. And you get a free smoothie if you wear flip-flops into the store. Unfortunately, the closest stores to us is Chicago. So instead, just wear your flip-flops, and it sounds like a very good choice for this upcoming weekend, especially if you wear your flip-flops by the pool.
That's right.
That's right. Lots of flip-flops will be worn this weekend. If you don't wear your sunscreen, you will look like a lobster.
There you go.
How about that one?
Ties
We
it
will
all
have
together.
a lot of heat coming into the picture. I've got your full First Alert forecast when we come back. And we talked about today being National Electricity Day. Here is where a lot of that electricity is right now across the North Woods and the extreme western tip of the UP of Michigan there. We've also got some thunderstorms across portions of southeastern Minnesota. None of those thunderstorms right now for us here in Madison. But as you work your way up to the North Woods, maybe you're going to be traveling there tonight because after all, the weekend is here. Do know that there's a slight risk of some severe showers and thunderstorms for them. As for us, we've got some sunshine and some clouds out there right now. Temperatures are in the low 80s. Dew point Dew points have came up now. It's at 69 for the dew point, so it continues to just feel worse as you step outside. Oddly enough, today's temperatures slightly above average, but not too bad, because as we continue to go through the weekend, it will get even worse. So I want to take a live look at Platteville right now. You see that hot, hazy look on the horizon. That, my friends, is a sign of what is to come. We've got 3 alert days. Today was one of them, but we also have tomorrow, Father's Day, and Monday that are also alert days due to the heat and humidity. Monday is a little different because it at least does have the chance of some strong showers and thunderstorms to move through later on at night. But heat advisories in effect right now pretty much across the entire upper Midwest. Some excessive heat warnings as you work your way up towards the Twin Cities. Let's go ahead and come in closer to home. You see the entire viewing area under those heat advisories right now. The lake shore is free from any advisories at this moment. You work your way back towards northern Illinois and in Chicago, they are watching the possibility of even adding to the list of advisories right now. Heat indices cooler along the lake shore. Right now in Madison, it feels like 86. You go just over to Lone Rock, that's where it feels like 96 degrees right now. La Crosse feels like 98. And to add to the mix, a large reason for these large heat indices, or high heat indices rather, is the dew points that are much higher across the Mississippi River Valley of Wisconsin. Dew points in the 70s as you work your way to the west. We're going to watch all of this moisture essentially begin to work its way into town. High dew points across the Midwest moving all the way up towards the Great Lakes and northern Great Plains as we go through the weekend. There's a reason for that. We've actually had a warm front that came through that brought the showers and thunderstorms earlier today. Humidity behind that, that's going to continue to move in as the system works its way to the north and east. So as we get you through Saturday, do expect the hot and humid conditions to essentially continue. A cold front works its way back to, or hangs out back to the west. Until then, we remain in what is known as the warm sector of this system. So we are going to stay hot and humid, especially into Sunday as a southwest wind really begins to take over with high pressure to our east, and this cold front up to our north will continue to watch these temperatures soar into the mid and upper 90s. We'll wake up in the 70s by the time we get you through tomorrow morning. 72 degrees should be your start temperature. By lunchtime, it is 85, 92 by the time we get you into the afternoon and evening. Here's what it's going to feel like by lunchtime. 87 degrees, 98 into the afternoon. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you at least the start of Father's Day. By the time we get you towards lunchtime on Father's Day, likely feeling like 98 degrees. Temperatures will also be in record territory. In fact, by the time we get you through Saturday and Sunday, it is all the matter of 1 degree to 2 degrees to whether or not we tie the record or break the record. So we will certainly keep a close eye on that one. 92 going to be your high for tomorrow. It's certainly going to be another hot and humid day. We get you into the next 7 days, and we'll continue to watch things finally cool off. We just have to get through this hot weekend first. Several alert days in the picture. Temperatures are going to be hanging out in the 80s once we get a nice cold front to move in on Tuesday. At that point, everyone can take a nice little breath of fresh air. Oh. Yeah. Enjoy some rain that we'll get. That'll cool us off. Humidity will come down just a little bit, and it'll actually feel like Wisconsin summer instead of Texas.
And you know Texas.
I know Texas, and oddly enough, you know, I wanted to escape Texas. I don't like the heat, humidity, but it followed me. I didn't have a choice.
What happened?
And if you have a neighbor without air conditioning or something this weekend, check in on them.
Do check on them. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. That's one of the things people don't think of heat as a big deal, but it's the #1 weather killer. It is the heat, so make sure that you are staying hydrated, staying cool.
Yeah, and this is dangerous stuff.
Yes, it is.
All right, Chris, thank you.
No problem.
The 100 days between Memorial Day and Labor Day are considered the deadliest stretch for drivers on the road.
As the summer driving season shifts into high gear, Chevrolet engineers have developed a unique concept to address a major safety hazard. Meg Oliver has more.
Dashcam video highlights the dangers of drowsy driving.
Is it just because you're tired? How much did you sleep?
Getting behind the wheel without enough sleep accounts for nearly 10% of crashes in the U.S.
You're going to be fully loaded.
To drive home the point, Chevrolet developed this drowsy driving simulator suit.
How much does all of this weigh?
I think it was 23 pounds.
Weights are strapped around your ankles, wrist, and chest.
It's even hard to walk.
I know, it's crazy.
Computer-controlled goggles complete it.
Let's go for it. Let's get in.
We tested the suit on a controlled track.
We're going to go to 20 miles per hour, and you're going to take my vision away for about a second.
Yes, every 4 seconds, you're going to have a flash of 1 second.
This is the view from the driver's seat when the goggles go dark.
That was not good.
You hit a home that time.
According to the National Sleep Foundation, 60% of adults admit to drowsy driving and 37% have fallen asleep at the wheel.
If you're yawning a lot, that's a good sign. If you actually can't remember the last couple of miles, the last couple exits, you definitely want to consider getting off the road.
Just this month, a driver in Florida crashed into a toll booth. One of the passengers flew through the windshield of his car but survived. State troopers believe the driver was either asleep or fatigued at the time.
The biggest thing you can do is get engaged.
Safety experts say at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep a night is the only way to keep you safe on the road. Meg Oliver, CBS News, New York.
And if you start feeling tired but can't get off the road, Chevrolet safety engineers recommend using hands-free devices to call a friend, engaging your brain with mind games, or using your car's technology to avoid drifting.
Yeah.
Scary.
You have to. Roll down the window,
Yep.
something.
Something. Start singing. Stay awake.
Still to come at 4, after 14 years, the wait is over for fans of the movie The Incredibles.
We'll preview Incredibles 2, which opens in theaters today, when Live at 4 continues. Look at the crowd on the terrace at the Memorial Union.
Goodness, yep.
The Madison reunion in full swing down on campus. Well, after nearly 14 years after The Incredibles redefined big screen superheroes, they're back.
Finally, the animated blockbusters creators and cast are back with the new adventure. David Daniel talks with them about the sequel.
Superheroes are illegal.
We want to fight bad guys. It defines who I am.
We're not saying you have... What?
The super-powered Parr family returns in Incredibles 2 as Elastigirl goes to work and Mr. Incredible tries being a stay-at-home dad.
Hey, honey, how are the kids?
Everything's great.
Is she having adolescence?
And Jack?
He's in excellent health.
We're floored by how brilliant. How did Brad do this?
Brad, of course, is Brad Bird, writer and director of both Incredibles movies.
I always wanted to do another Incredibles because I had such fun doing the first film. And it was the only time in my career so far that I've gotten to take something from initial seed of an idea through to completion.
Catherine Keener and Bob Odenkirk, who play siblings, were thrilled to join the franchise.
If somebody says, Brad Bird wants to call you, you go, I don't care why. I want to, you know.
I'm surprised at how much Brad is able to challenge his audience and reward them.
I'll be there ASAP.
Bird showed Samuel L. Jackson, who's back as Frozone, an early clip.
He showed it to me immediately when I was in the studio. He said, wait till you see this. This is great. And I was just awed. And it was the funniest thing I had seen.
The sequel picks up right where the original left off. But in real life, 14 years brought a lot of advances in animation, leading to some subtle but important changes.
The characters still look like the characters, but they look like we wanted them to look in the first one.
Yeah, the technology sort of caught up to our aspirations
there
for the first film.
I couldn't have done this if you hadn't taken over so well.
I've got to succeed so she can succeed.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
You know all these characters.
I know. Like where it left off. I'm like, oh, the Underminer.
Two boys.
Yeah, we watch it all the time.
It looks pretty good.
Oh, I expect it to be. Because, you know, some people say, oh, sequels don't, you know. I'm hanging my hat on this one. So.
Well, we'll find out what our Will Loper thinks about Incredibles 2. He'll be on the program Monday.
Oh, I can't wait.
All right, still to come at 4. At a time when the country's divided, it's a time for unity.
That's the theme for this year's Stage Q production of Queer Shorts. We'll go backstage with Michael Bruno to check things out when Live at 4 continues.
Here's the latest look at your traffic right now. We are watching the tail lines continue to stack up on the belt line at Todd Drive. A look at all the cars on a Friday afternoon right now. Lots of folks headed home, so do pack your patience and just know you are going to run into that traffic. Across Dane County, for the most part, everyone does look fine, but it's right along that southern tier of the belt line that we're really seeing a lot of those slowdowns right now. In fact, most places moving anywhere from about 21 to 29 miles per hour, so about half of the normal posted speed limit there. If you're headed eastbound from Verona Road over towards John Nolan, it's going to take you about 12 minutes there. Coming in from University to Verona, so far things are good. A little bit of slowdowns from John Nolan to I-39-90. That's a look at your first alert traffic. Yes.
Busy Friday. Thank you, Chris. Well, here's a video just to make you smile. It's 4 young men dancing outside a Mississippi gas station. The video is taken in Jackson, and it features a group showing off their best dance moves. One of the members say they were all swimming earlier in the day. They decided to make a video. It was then posted on Facebook. It's been shared thousands of times, racked up millions of views. The gas station owner encourages the guys. He'd rather have them dancing in his parking lot doing something good. The boys have been friends for over 5 years.
Well, they've got the moves.
They have got the moves, that's for sure. Well, it's become an annual tradition at the Bartell Theater and Stage Q in the month of June, Gay Pride Month.
This year's theme for Queer Shorts is unity, and pieces by local and international playwrights are included. Our Michael Bruno goes backstage at this year's Queer Shorts.
Do you want to know why I didn't come out to you sooner? Because of all the terrible things you said about your bisexual ex.
Wait, what? Wait, me, bisexual ex?
Queer Shorts is it's an annual play festival, and one of the unique things is for us is we get to explore plays that are written by both local and international talents, and we get brand new directors, we get seasoned directors, we get actors who are seasoned, we get actors who are have done this many times. So it's an opportunity for the community as a whole to come and experience theater, new, old, and experienced. So it's exciting.
Oh, who was that? Was that right? John, who in high school was Jenny. So a girl just went in the guy's room?
Queer Shorts is all about really great human connection and seeing really good theater in the community. And it's something that you don't always get in sort of this like short play festival type atmosphere, but I mean, these plays explore so many different types of relationships and human connection.
Do you need any help telling Mom?
I tried telling Mom a couple years ago.
What?
I was dating a guy and I told her, but we broke up before I could introduce him to her. I think I only wanted them to meet to prove it to her. She didn't understand.
I saw a post for directors, and generally I haven't had great luck being cast, but people have let me direct. So between like auditioning for it and directing for it, I was like, I think I have a better shot directing. I ended up understudying as well, and actually going up on stage understudying.
After she met Sam a few weeks ago, she asked if that meant I was straight again. So...
Maybe we can get her a book or a pamphlet or something. Like when I came out?
And what's it like actually watching your actors bring your piece to life?
Yeah, that was a unique experience. I never actually wrote. This is my first time having a play produced that I wrote. So it has been a very unique, interesting experience seeing people act it out and seeing a director's interpretation of it.
Oh my God!
What?
There's a priest over there! Look for yourself, he just got out of his car!
Cheese and crackers!
I decided to play my character Scott as an over-the-top neurotic gay man. And my concern about that was that he would be seen as being a cliche or a hackneyed character. But I decided that, you know, there's such a force for us to assimilate into this culture and to act straight and to fit in. This is Mrs. Perkins.
Hello, Mrs. Perkins.
We don't have to assimilate. We can maintain our individuality as queer people and show who we really are, and it's okay.
And Michael's here now. directed some of these in the past. It must be very empowering.
It's incredibly empowering, and it's a really wonderful chance for new authors and people who haven't had their plays presented to do a short little piece, to do a little one-act instead of having to do an entire two-act play or an entire musical. And we get submissions from all over the world. It's just really fascinating how the quality has really stepped up in the past years that we've been doing it.
And you have a local playwright here as well.
And that's really wonderful, having a local playwright having their pieces performed. And it's a great opportunity for actors who maybe have never really had the chance to get up on stage, they really haven't had a chance to be cast in something, just to do a short little one-act piece rather than having to go into all the rehearsal time of, like, sometimes it's 4 or 5 nights a week you have to go in for 4 to 6 weeks. This, you just have to spend a little time doing your own piece, and then they put all the pieces together for the Tech Weekend performance.
And how many are there?
This year there are 10.
10.
There are 10 pieces in 2 acts.
Moves right along.
Yes, it does. And if you don't like that one, just wait. There'll be another one in a couple of minutes.
Kind of like the weather around Wisconsin.
Exactly.
Queer Shorts at the Bartell Theatre, now through Saturday, June 23rd. $20. It's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Go to the website for tickets and information on everything going on. And next week, something a little different.
Yes, next week it is the Penguin Project at the Sun Prairie Civic Theater's production of Schoolhouse Rock Live Junior. Got all that? There's going to be a test. Yes.
All right.
Thank you, Michael.
See you next week.
Okay, have a good weekend.
Stay cool.
I will.
All right, we'll be right back with the final check of that forecast. A hot weekend.
That's right. We do have alert days for the weekend, especially with the heat and the humidity that is going to be out there. Sunday will likely be the warmest day that we experience. That being said, I want to make sure that everyone knows the warning signs of a heat stroke, and they're all right there before you, but of course that high body temperature, oddly enough, it is going to be hot and dry skin. See, the problem when it's hot and humid is your skin can't dry because it's so humid, so your body can't cool off. It can't evaporate. But if it's still hot and humid and your skin starts to become hot and dry like that, it is a sign of a heat stroke. Racing heart rate, strong pulse, all of those things. Make sure you are aware of that this weekend.
And keep an eye on your pets as well. They don't sweat at all. So
give your pets water, and if you're going to be leaving them outside, put some ice in it.
Yep. All right. Thank you. Stay cool, everybody.
Monday on Live at 4, Dr. Zorba Pastor takes your medical questions live, and we'll meet our pet of the week.
Plus, Will Loper tells us what he thinks of the new movie Incredibles 2. We'll be right back with Lola's Lowdown.
Our K9 correspondents Lola and intern Louie have had a rather busy week compiling the best animal stories from around the world.
That is quite a claim, but it's true. Here's this week's edition of The Lowdown. This week on The Lowdown, Lola ducks a stampede.
We meet one smart pup.
And a king of the jungle.
But first, the newest member of the Antwerp Zoo has made its debut in the spotlight. One of Belgium Zoo's spectacled bears, Zamora, gave birth to a cub in February who is meeting visitors for the first time. In 2013, this zoo became home to the first spectacled bear, a species endemic to the tropical Andes, considered vulnerable by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. The little cub, yet unnamed, was with his mom for several months in the comfort of the nursery before checking out his new home.
It's the dismissal bell for a bunch of ducklings. They graduated from the nesting place at the Nativity of Mary School in Bloomington, Minnesota, and now they're ready to try out their webbed feet. But the slippery halls don't make it easy. School officials say the same mother duck comes back every year to raise her young. She nests in a corner of the courtyard, and once the babies are ready for the real world, they make the trek through the school's halls to take on Mother Nature. Good luck, you little quackers.
Meet Buddy, a doggy doorman. He's a 6-year-old Australian shepherd who likes to lend his owner a